Subscribe.
What's up, guys? So welcome to another video. Please excuse me for my terrible voice at the moment. I've got a really bad flu, so I'm going to sound absolutely terrible. There's nothing I can do about it, so I apologise in advance. But I'm going to just quickly recap on this fight because it's something that a lot of people have been speaking about, the Errol, Spence and Terrance Crawford fight. I obviously made a video about it before, but I want to go just a little bit deeper into why I think, why I think what I think about my predictions and why and if anything has changed. Like I said before, I do think that Errol Spence and Terrance Crawford are the best fighters in the division. That is just goes without saying. But if you watched my previous video, you'll know that I'm picking Terrance Crawford to win. Now, the reason why is, I've watched these fighters very carefully since, amateur. I've watched amateur fights, both of them, which most people haven't watched, and the professional fights as well. They were both amazing amateurs. Errol Spence, I don't think he ever lost a fight. Errol Spence, in his amateur career, Terrance Crawford lost. But they both have amazing records. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Excuse me. The main thing I see that in both of these fighters is Terrance Crawford. To me, he creates in the fight. Yeah, he already knows what he's looking for, what he wants to make happen. A lot of people don't realise this. Errol Spence, he gets in the fight and his idea is to beat you down. So he's going to pressurise you, use his strength, use his boxing skills, beat you down, beat you to the body, whatever's available, head, body, and he's just going to wear you down. And that's what he does to people, right? He doesn't care really, if he gets a stoppage, if his points, whatever, but he wants to beat you up and beat you down with different types of punches, body punches, slowing down your movement with body punches. He's a great fighter, Errol Spence. But the difference between them is that Errol Spence is kind of one-dimensional. He's one-dimensional in the way that that's his route to victory for every fighter. But Terrance is multi-dimensional. He switch hits to basically confuse his opponents, but also to open up the possibilities of where that knockout shot is going to come from. He already knows he's going to land it. Before the fight even happens, he knows he's going to land that shot. He's a sniper. He's a creator. That's the difference I see with him. He's creating what he wants to happen, whereas Errol Spence is just breaking you down. He's just going to come at you, and you will not be able to deal with his stamina, his energy, his output, and he's just going to break you down, yeah? If you're someone who can't be broken down, he'll go the distance with you because he doesn't have a way of knocking you out, apart from just, it's like Golovkin in a way. He's similar to Golovkin, but more skilled. Same thing, comes at you like, the same way Golovkin did, breaks you down, and most people just succumb to it. But that when he meets people who do not succumb to that kind of thing, then he normally gets a victory through just beating you down, but he can't stop the fight. But with Terrance already has in his idea, he's creating, it's like he's painting on a canvas. Do you see what I mean? He already knows what he wants to do. He plays around with, he sets a lot of traps that people don't realise. He plays around with range. He makes you think that his range is a certain range when really it's more. That his range is actually more than what he kind of indicates to you. I've seen him do that in a lot of fights. That's how he gets these knockouts that these professional fighters don't see. He starts to switch hit for many reasons. If something is not working, like with Kell Brook, it wasn't quite working, he switched. He got the knockout out of nowhere. Spence had to kind of grind Kell Brook down the way he always does because he's one-dimensional. Do you see what I mean? So Terrance Crawford, he opens up the possibilities when he switch hits. It can come from the left, it can come from the right, it can come from the southpaw stance, and all that stuff is just opening up the possibilities so that later on in the fight, he'll come back to where he saw that weakness, whether it was on the southpaw side or if it was from an orthodox stance, and then he'll exploit it from nowhere. It will just come out of nowhere, and the person afterwards will say he caught me with a lucky shot, but it's not lucky. It was in his mind. It was calculated. This is one of the reasons why he starts off slow. Errol Spence starts off quick, because he wants to set that pace and crush you, which is what he crushes most people with. Yeah, it's a crazy pace, you know. But Terrance starts off slow because he wants to see what your tendencies are. He wants to gauge that. He wants to gauge that range. He wants to gauge your power, what your tendencies are, your foot speed, all that stuff. You see him kind of like waiting and moving around the ring and kind of like not really doing much at first. It kind of lulls you into a false sense of security. And I think the more he does that is the more Spence is going to push, because he feels like he's winning the real estate. Like, Terrance is on the back foot, he's punching to the body, Terrance is moving backwards, he's winning. So Errol Spence is going to keep pushing. But that is the trick. That is going to be the bait that he's setting, you know, and eventually, wherever stance it's going to come from. Basically, you can't really like guard against all angles, and that's what Terrance Crawford kind of does. Even Lomachenko, you know, Lomachenko comes from different angles. That's how he kind of gets a lot of stoppages, because you don't know where it's going to come from. Whereas with Errol Spence, if you've got the legs to move and you're strong enough to hold him off, you can stop him from knocking you out. You know, keep moving, time up on the inside and all that. Obviously, it's not easy because he's going to body punch you and he's going to slow you down. But with a supreme athlete like these two, excuse me, like I said, I'm very sick today. But I just think the major difference is going to be in the brain. It's not going to be in the body. They're both as strong as each other. They're both as athletic as each other. There's no way that one of them can break the other one down. They're just too fit. These guys can do 24 rounds, you know what I mean? So I don't think that Spence is going to be able to break Terrance down like that, because also the more punches he threw, like I said in the previous video, is the more chances he gives Terrance Crawford, who's a sniper. He gives him more chances to get that lucky punch, as they say. See what I mean? So for me, I feel like that's going to be the key. Now, if Terrance Crawford hits Spence with this punch, which he will do, I guarantee you, he's going to hit him with a punch he doesn't see from one of these awkward angles. If Spence takes it, you know, on multiple occasions and doesn't go nowhere, Errol Spence is going to win this fight, guaranteed. Errol Spence will win it because he'll just grind him down. If he can take his punch and it didn't phase him, then he's gonna grind him down. Then that's when I would say Errol Spence wins. But if he can't take that punch, which I don't think he can, Terrance Crawford wins. So personally, I haven't changed my prediction. I see Terrance Crawford winning even stronger than before. It's just the way, where their styles are. Spence has got good boxing skills. He stays behind his jab and he's got good defense and stuff like that. But it's just not enough for a sniper. You know, a sniper will hit you. You don't know where it's coming from. It's very fast. The timing's perfect, and you can't stop it. You know, whereas, like I said, with Spence, you can kind of predict what he's going to do. As long as you can take his, like, crazy pace and all that stuff, you know, pushing to the body. If you can take all that stuff, you know what he's going to do. You know what Spence is going to do before he does it. It's all about if you can stop what he's doing. But with Crawford, you don't know what he's going to do. And that is going to be the key. It's all in the mind. I think Terrance Crawford plays chess. I think he thinks ahead of time. Okay, you know, we had a battle of the jab, and I noticed that your jab was better than mine, or you were a bit faster with the jab, you got longer arms or something, yeah? So he's going to adapt to that, whereas I don't think Spence thinks about that as much. I think Terrance does, you know, and I think that's going to be the difference, man. So I haven't changed my pick. Terrance Crawford to stop Errol Spence with a lucky punch, as they say, but it won't be lucky, it'll be calculated. Probably maybe like the 8th round, 8 to, you know, the 12th round. Late rounds. I think Errol Spence is too good to get knocked out quickly. So that's my prediction. There's a whole bunch of people that have come on my comment section and told me that I'm talking nonsense. We'll have to see. When the fight happens, you've got the right to, you know, cuss me in the comments section and talk about how I was wrong. But I don't think I'm going to be wrong. I've watched these fighters, and that's what I see, basically, you know. Another issue I wanted to briefly touch on is a lot of people talking about who's ducking who, someone's ducking someone. I don't really think anyone's ducking anyone. But if anyone was ducking someone, I think it's Errol Spence ducking Terence Crawford, because I don't think he was. I don't think he was in a hurry to fight Terence Crawford. There's lots of other fights out there, different people that it's easier to make, easier fights. He never really seemed like in a hurry to fight Terence Crawford, whereas Terence Crawford doesn't seem scared of him at all. Now, I don't think that really means anything. I think it's just all calculation, risk versus reward. But now, I do think Errol Spence wants to fight him. But I don't know. I feel like Errol Spence is more fearful that he could lose than Terence Crawford. Another thing is Jermall Charlo. He's supposed to be a very kind of, he's not scared of anyone. How many times has Terence Crawford called out Jermall Charlo, and Jermall Charlo has not wanted to really respond? What does that mean? Is that fear? I don't know, man. I really think there's some fear there, from a lot of these fighters, because they're professional fighters. They're working day in, day out. They see these fighters all the time. They're professional. They know who's skilled and who's not. They know 100% how much of a threat Terence Crawford is, just because of what he can do. And that's the reason why I think Jermall Charlo is not in a hurry. He hasn't said much. He said, yeah, when he moves up, he's pointed out different people that would beat him instead of putting himself in the frame. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I don't think people are in a hurry to fight Terence Crawford. But anyway, I'm not really one to talk about the ducking thing. I thought I'd just mention it. Going to be a great fight. I think Terence Crawford's going to knock Errol Spence out, and then I think he's going to move up, and I think he's going to go after Jermall Charlo, and Jermall Charlo is going to run for the hills, honestly, because I don't really think Jermall Charlo's got great skills, and I think you need great skills to beat Terence Crawford. So I see Terence Crawford being, unified champion at 154 as well. So a lot of great things are going to come from Terence Crawford in the future. Man, guess who's back? I said, guess who's back? If you enjoyed my video, please consider liking or sharing and subscribing to my channel. Thank you.